Morning Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Patrick, ArtStorefronts here. Another AMA. What does AMA stand for? Ask me anything about anything. Um, it can be about where you are in your art career. It can be about the single solitary biggest thing that you are struggling with. You might have a question about a live art show. You might have a question about your Facebook ads. You might have a question about email marketing or pricing or niche selection. Or maybe you don't understand what 8 days till Q4 means and why that's really important, or why that's critically important that you understand the fourth quarter is about to start, the biggest art selling time of the year. So, how do you ask questions? You can leave a comment on Instagram. I'll answer those. I'll pin them. You can leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or our Facebook group. It doesn't matter if you're a customer, if you're not a customer. The whole point is just to have a chat, answer some questions, and test my going live skills and getting better. Kingdom thinkers, I can't let you in. I always get these requests to join the Instagram chat, and I can't do it because I don't have the sound routing from Instagram through Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, so it'd just be me talking to you. It'd be weird, so I can't do it. But I'm happy to do that on upcoming shows, so to speak. Um, so that's what I would say. But yep, you guys, the writing is on the wall. There is 8 days till Q4. 8 days. Every single time you see me on here, I'm banging the drum. Why am I banging the drum? Because it is the biggest art selling time of the year. It's not even close, and it starts in 8 days. What do you mean it starts in 8 days? You don't understand. It starts in 8 days. We used to live in a civilized world. Okay, in the civilized world, when I was a kid, it was really nice. You'd have Thanksgiving with your family, and the next day, everyone would go shopping, right? And that would be Black Friday, and that was it. That was it. And then Christmas would come, and there would be some more shopping for Christmas, but that was it. That's how it worked. Then what ended up happening? Cyber Monday got invented out of thin air. All of a sudden, there's Black Friday, and all of a sudden, there's Cyber Monday deals, 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 deals. Then after that, it's a nonstop blitz until the Christmas holiday, right? Fast forward a couple of years, and one merchant had the idea, one brand had the idea, one store had the idea first, whoever it was. Instead of starting my sale on Black Friday, I'm going to do a pre-Black Friday sale, okay? And one merchant decided to do a pre-Black Friday sale, and then the next year 20 of them did a pre-Black Friday sale, or hundreds, or whatever it was. Now, in 8 days, October is going to start, and the deals are just going to happen. They're just gonna start happening. They're just gonna start dropping all over the place, okay? And at the end of the day, you guys have to understand that you're merchants, right? You're merchants the same as everyone else that is going into this holiday buying season, and everyone is competing for the same dollars, okay? Now, that's just at a macro, right? Like, the people that wanna buy art are gonna buy art. You're not necessarily competing with the people that wanna buy furniture, so don't take it literally like that. But the point is, you ever see Jaws? Rhetorical question, pretty much everyone's seen Jaws, right? You remember when the detective is, like, with the shark fisherman guy, and he's on the back of the boat, and he's scooping the blood and guts out of the bucket, the chum, throwing it in the water because 'cause they're trying to bring the shark to the surface? He's smoking his heater, and he's, like, throwing it in the water. Every single solitary merchant in the game is the detective, okay? Every single merchant, every single brand, every single e-commerce company, Amazon, all of them are just going to be throwing the blood into the water. And that blood is meant to churn up all the sharks. And we are the sharks. Everyone that has a credit card, everyone that has to buy something this holiday season. And the point is that all of that activity, all of these different brands and companies and merchants and e-commerce sites and all of them whipping up, frothing up, spending money on advertising, radio ads, digital ads, TV ads, billboard ads, guys on the side of the street throwing the sign ads. You can water ski behind that. We can all, if we have something to sell, water ski behind that. And all it really takes is getting yourself up on a website, start doing some marketing, and get some sales in the water. And it literally starts, the blitz starts in 8 days. The minute October starts, it's on, right? Fall, there's some Halloween type activity. There's some opportunities for some live art shows. Get your first one under your belt, start getting more comfortable about it. Um, It just begins immediately. And, like I said, it's completely uncivilized, but it's just the world that we live in now. Like, you can't just maybe run a Halloween sale and then wait until actual Black Friday. You actually have to sprint the entire quarter pretty much until the drop dead date. The drop dead date is like the last date that you can reasonably get some art shipped to your customer that arrives on Christmas. Until that time, it's all hands on deck, right? It is an absolute sprint to that finish line. Then you got to take off some time, enjoy Christmas, enjoy New Year's, recharge the batteries, come up with some New Year's resolutions that you're not going to keep, and start the year off again. I mean, that's how it works. That is the rinse and repeat of this particular cycle. It just totally is. All right, so Marilyn Fox is asking me, what do you know about Art Expo NY? Pretty much just that it exists. That's it. Don't know anything else about it. Marilyn's also asking me my thoughts about Instagram and Facebook ads. I think they're critically important. I think we sort of have like the question, and it's a really good question. It's like when is the appropriate time for an artist and or a photographer to start engaging in Facebook and Instagram ads? I have sort of like a longer explanation on this. Um, so I'm gonna do it, and there's not like a magic number when, but what we like to see is the artist or photographer in question have sold a couple $1,000s worth of art online to strangers. If you've done that, you're ready to get into Facebook and Instagram ads, but you're ready to get into Facebook and Instagram ads only to warm audiences. Okay, let me explain this, Marilyn. Warm audiences can be thought of as you're going to pay Instagram and Facebook money to show your ads, okay, to people that already know you, not to strangers, okay? That's the differentiation between cold and warm. Cold have no idea who Marilyn is. They've never met her. They don't even know she exists. Warm are all these various different people that have interacted with Marilyn. Maybe they've met her in person. Maybe they're on her email list. Maybe they visited her Instagram account and left a comment. Maybe they visited her Facebook page. Maybe they visited her website, right? Collectively, that audience is your warm audience. And once you are an artist, you are a photographer, and you have sold a couple $1,000s of art online to strangers, you need to get into Facebook and Instagram ads and never stop. Never stop. What people don't understand is Facebook and Instagram ads. To warm traffic, very important, that part, warm traffic, is no different to your business than rent for the office, the cable bill, your water bill. It's a monthly business expense, and you have to pay it, right? Facebook and Instagram have 2 plans. They don't publish this, okay? There's not a pricing table you can go to on a website, but there is a free plan and there is a paid plan, okay? The free plan is the one that everybody's on already. You have 100 people that follow you on Facebook. You have 100 people that follow you on Instagram. You post something to Facebook. You post something to Instagram. Out of those 100 people, 2 to 10 see it. 2 to 10 out of the 100. Okay, that's the free plan, and that's what Facebook and Instagram gives out for free. And if you don't like it, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Right? Facebook and Instagram doesn't care. If you want to change and go onto the paid plan is spending money on ads to warm traffic. And all we attempt to do with those ads on Facebook and Instagram is if we have 100 people following us on Facebook and 100 people following us on Instagram, we use the ads such that 90 out of 100 will see our post on Facebook and 90 out of 100 will see our post on Instagram. And it's very inexpensive to do this. Most of you guys can do this for $2 a day, $2 to $5 a day, if that. So it's essentially the price of a cup of coffee. And anyone that has any sense in terms of digital marketing that is attempting to sell art understands that running Facebook and Instagram ads after you sold a couple $1,000s of art is something that you start and you never stop. Now, very easy for me to say that. Very easy for me to say that with conviction. Very difficult for artists or photographers to get over the hump of, wait a minute, advertising is not like a casino. Advertising is I put $1 in and $5 come back. Okay. That's what every single solitary artist, every single solitary photographer thinks in their mind, because they've never run ads. And it's why they fail. Because what you do is you jumped on Instagram, you jumped on Facebook, and you're like, okay, everyone said Facebook and Instagram ads are awesome. This is my year. I know I'm gonna do great with them, and I'm willing to spend $500. And in your mind, you're like, "I'm gonna spend $500 on these ads, and I'm gonna get $1,500 out of it." Okay? And so you go and you spend the $500 on ads, and you don't even break even. Maybe you get $100 out of it. Maybe you get $250 out of it. You definitely don't get $500 out of it, and you definitely don't get $1,500 out of it. Why? Where did you screw up? Because you don't understand how art sells. You fundamentally do not understand how art sells. It is a serious problem. It's why 90% of the artists and photographers that get into these things end up failing miserably because you don't understand how art sells. Straight up. You leverage the ads in the paid traffic to get people on your list, and you market to that person all year long. You don't know when they're gonna be ready to buy art, but you need to make sure that your message is in the water when they do. What everyone thinks when they run their ads, that everyone's just ready to buy art and that it's just gonna be sale-a-palooza, and that's how it goes. And nothing could be further than the truth, Marilyn. And everyone says to me all the time that, "Oh, all my followers are artists and photographers," right? And we get that all the time. I hear that all the time. Nick hears that all the time. And I'm wrapping up a thing, Nick, on ads. We hear that all the time. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yes, a bunch of artists and photographers follow a bunch of artists and photographers, but it doesn't matter. You run warm ads once you get to a certain sales threshold, and that's that. I have on my list. Don't ever assume everyone knows us. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Friend. I am CEO and owner of ArtStorefronts.
And I'm Patrick. I run the marketing department here. You know who I am. You see my ugly face every day. Now, I put in the AMA. There's 8 days till Q4. I've covered that briefly. Okay. I got some questions from Marilyn about Facebook and Instagram ads, so I sort of went down that rabbit hole. I sort of did bang the drum on how important the first of this month is when it starts. That the sales and marketing blitz just starts and it's never going to stop. Never going to stop. Like I literally like looked at it and you push back and you tell me like October 1st comes and you have to sprint until the shipping drop dead date ahead of Christmas, right? And I explain what that is.
Yes.
The shipping drop dead date is you can no longer deliver your product to somebody's house by Christmas, right? In our case, it's like what, 12 days or something like that.
And then you're selling gift cards.
Yeah,
and then you're selling gift cards.
The larger point is, come October, you're running all the way till then. You can have a nice vacation after that, right? You could
yeah. No. But don't forget the New Year's sale.
Yeah, there's New Year's too. But
the
point is like it is.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Yeah. It is go time, and it's like if you haven't gotten that message that it is. Yeah, it is time to be marketing and all of that. I mean, here's the thing: is that the people who have been doing their marketing all year long and building, however fast that has been, it might be slower than you'd hoped, but you're actually building. That's fine, right? The most important thing is when you start heading in the right direction and you start building upon that. Okay, that's the key. All right, but the people who have been doing this and have been building for 3 or 4 years on that path are without a doubt going to be having record years this Christmas. Every year is a record, like for those people, right? The year before, this year, it's not just because of the economic circumstances and how much is being bought online, but the lesson in all of it is that it's like, I mean, Pat, we have been here for weeks. You've been here for, months and months and months saying this, but we have been banging the holiday rush, the holiday season drum for a solid 2 months saying, we're warning you. This is where you should be making 40, 50, 60% of your sales. If you have a strategy, a marketing strategy, and you execute properly, right? And so here we are again. It's September 23rd. It's not too late, but really, you guys, mentally, you got to make the decision. Like, what are you going to do? It's like Pat just said, you're going to be sprinting from, you should be sprinting from October 1st all the way through. That should be your mentality, okay? If you want to have a lot of success. And when you see the people on our platform who are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, they are doing that. They are doing that. Don't think that they're phoning it in and just like, oh yeah, the sales are just rolling. It's all good. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to send out emails. I don't have to make social posts. I don't have to go live. No, they are doing everything. Just know that whenever you see people really successful, they are doing everything and usually more, And so what sort of commitment, are you going to make for yourself? It's your life. It's your business. Only you can decide what your success is this year, but you've got advance notice right now and you can make it happen. So, for those of you who are pumped up for it, like, just get mentally ready. I keep saying that, like, it's so powerful to, to just understand in your mind, like the price that you have to pay for it in terms of like time and effort, and just like, what, this is the time where I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make that commitment. Because as I've said, these hours that you spend during the holiday season, October, November, December, are the highest ROI, return on investment hours, that you will have at any time of the year.
Period.
That's the most important part about it. And whenever you have times, and you know what, Pat? It's also, guess what? It's also Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these different holidays, and the other holidays that we kind of brew up throughout the year. Those are them too. Like, those are the times where, if you don't do anything else all year long, which is not good, okay? Like, the playbook well before and after and throughout the holidays, right, is like the highest return on investment of your time that you can possibly get. So if like this last year, here and there, you've been lobbing out social media posts or making a blog post or, like sending out an email, you've likely just been doing like low ROI activities, but if you focus at the right time and you have the right tactics and strategies that are actually working, that's when the magic can happen.
You know what else I would say, and I think this is important. Can you still hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I get a phone call and it like whacks out the thing. You have to understand what we just lived through, right? And I'm gonna make a blanket statement that is really, really important to understand. This will be, this Q4, the biggest art selling time, the biggest art selling fourth quarter in the history of selling art and photography. Okay. I don't even have to speculate. I already know it to be true. And it's the reason I can say that blanket statement and have it be true is because it's completely and utterly independent of economic circumstances. Okay. The viable channels in which to sell art this Q4 remain the digital ones. Okay. It remains on your website. It remains via live art shows. It remains in person, face to face. The usual viable channels, the art galleries, the show and fair circuits, will not be producing. Okay. You have to go back and understand what COVID has ushered in for us as a society. There is a measurement that measures the penetration of e-commerce growth. And so what do I mean by that? You have $100 that are spent in the market. A certain portion are spent retail, and then a certain portion are spent online. Okay. So we have our percentage of e-commerce penetration. COVID essentially ushered in 10 years of e-commerce growth and penetration in 7 weeks. Okay. In 7 weeks time. So when you look at that, you understand that if you are one of the art sellers that has the online game figured out, okay, that has your art up on a website that can take credit card and sell and has the options, that is running live art shows and knows how to meet those markets, it's going to be your biggest Q4 ever. Okay. When you contrast it to last year, in which a similar situation existed, none of the old channels were working. It's the same case here. It is going to be a record year for the vast majority of our customer base, solely based on this increased penetration of e-commerce as a total volume of sales. It's going to be staggering, and it's available for everyone, every person out there. All you got to do is reach out and grab it.
Yep. And the important thing too is that just the lesson of understanding that building a direct art business and how important it is, versus indirect. You guys, indirect is when you're selling through third parties like galleries, art publishers, art dealers, or things like that. Direct is when you are marketing directly to your customers, building your own audience, understanding what is resonating with them, and ultimately building a valuable business that you own, where you make the most money from your art, and you have something that you can retire on, pass to the next generation, which is what almost no artist is doing, or photographer. Okay. 99.9% are not doing that. And this is actually the source of the starving artist problem,
Yeah.
And so, there's such a big lesson in all of this. It's like when you get to the micro, it's like execute on the fourth quarter, right? Like do everything you can. This is the biggest art selling time of the year, and so forth. Um, but when you get out to the macro, it's understanding that like how much the world has changed in the last 2 years,
Mhm.
and what is it going to be going forward? Like what's going to happen to retail? You know what I mean? Like how bad it's just been hurt, and it was already hurting, especially the galleries. I mean, it was going downhill, and people were talking about the death of galleries well before anything with COVID happened, right?
Yep.
And so the important thing is that as an artist or a photographer building your own direct business, it's not only a better business, right? It's not only a better approach, but it's the actual normal way outside of the art industry that everybody builds a business. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
when you build businesses in all the other industries, you sell direct. It's the only way that you can control your destiny. Yet somehow, this one industry, people pop in, and the first thing that they're told is you got to be in a gallery or you got to upload to these online galleries where nobody is having success, right? And it's like, where does this come from? It's like, no. Get that out of the way. Get that all out of the way. Go back to the fundamentals. The only people that are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, except for the unicorns, right? But people that are unknown regular people like you guys, that nobody knows about, that are actually selling those numbers, are building their own direct business and are doing what I'm talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds simple, and it is. You would think that it would be a more opaque picture, but one of the things myself, members of the marketing team have been doing for the last like 2 months is people will come to our storefront's website and they'll fill out a form and we'll get their email address and whether or not they have a website. And then my team goes and investigates their website, goes and investigates their Facebook page and their Instagram account. And out of the hundreds, that I look at, okay, let's just say 100 to keep the math simple. 5 out of 100 are doing consistent marketing. You know what consistent marketing is defined as here? One social post a week, right? Like when I go to their page, the last social post was not June 27th, right? Like, that small of a number are doing any active marketing, and he or she who's closest to the customer wins always, right? And
Exactly.
that is so true.
Thank
And
you.
so when I look at how little any and all of you guys are doing in terms of marketing, one, it breaks my heart, but in equal measure, I am so incredibly encouraged. And I'm so incredibly encouraged because it is so easy. It is so easy to get those first low-hanging fruit wins, Nick, just by doing a little bit of consistent marketing, which you've never done in your art selling life. Okay.
Yeah.
It is just reach out and grab that beautiful butterfly because it's that easy. All you got to do is you don't even have to be good to start out. You got to just do something consistently.
Yeah. Like with any business, right? And I
Yes.
think, one of the biggest things too is that you know, like our job, it's crazy to say, but like our job as a company, is like the first thing that we have to do is just move all the BS out of the way for everybody. Like it's like clear the BS, clear everything in your head that you've been told and that you think you should be doing. Like you got to get it out. You got to like pull it out by the roots. I mean, sometimes it's painful. People they're so messed up. Like I need to be doing SEO. You know what I mean? Or like I mean, it's just crazy. And you got to get that out of the way, and then just go no, just focus on these fundamentals. Stay on track. You know what I mean? Keep testing and iterating if it's not working for you, right?
Mhm.
And you got to get traction and then build upon the traction, right? If you're not getting traction, then you have to keep testing and iterating because everything you're sending out is not working. Your images are not working, okay? They're not resonating. It's like Pat said, when you just said that right there, that phrase, which is like a company mantra of ours, right? He or she who is closest to their customer wins. Why are we doing this right now? Why do we talk to thousands upon thousands of artists and photographers every week, right? As a team. It's because you got to know what your customers need. Like fulfill their basic needs really well, and you have a great business. Do you even know what your audience wants, what your customers want? Or are you just taking pictures or making paintings and just like throwing it on them. Well, at the beginning, that's what you do, right? You got to throw some lines in the water. Okay, I'm going to try this lure, and then I'm going to try this lure. I'm going to try this different type of bait. We're going to try some different things. Ooh, this one resonated right here. I sold one, right? And it also, oh, by the way, not only did it sell, this one got like 25 more likes and actually had some comments on it, because comments are way more important than likes. You know what I mean? Like, but neither of them matter at the end of the day, right? But anyways, you notice these things as a directional metric that, wow, that one really resonated. Like, I got a sale. I got a couple people who were really interested. Like, that was different than the 4 other messages or posts that I sent out. And so then you realize, okay, what was that? What is it? Maybe you can talk to those people, but you'll probably know, like, wow, they really like the waterfalls. Why is that? Maybe it's because your existing audience, like, there's a waterfall, down the road in your city, and so that really resonates. Doesn't matter. Take that and go deeper on it. That thing that sold, did you sell a print? Now go sell a bunch of coasters, sell a bunch of merch items, try some metal prints. You know what I mean? Go deeper on what's working, understand what is working and what is not, right? And then you're supposed to, you got to take that and then iterate towards perfection. If you just keep throwing the same stuff out there and doing the same stuff, it's not going to matter.
No, it's not.
It's not going to matter. You got to get traction and move forward off the traction.
Yeah. One of the things that I should say, because we were hopping on, we always got to remember this technically is an AMA. You can ask us anything about anything. We're sitting here ranting because we get fired up about various different things, but we do want to do Q&A, and we're willing to ask anything. That's number one. Number two, we have a huge sale running right now. Ends in whatever 7-8 days. You could still get up running live ahead of Q4. Critically important. Jeffrey, I see your question. I'll answer in a sec. As a final though, like the he or she who's closest to the customer wins. Ask yourselves, all of you guys, when's the last time you had a long and in-depth conversation, or even I'll take a short and friendly conversation with a potential buyer about what they love about your work, or what they would like to see, or what they found interesting, or anything.
Right? Or the last 10 people who bought from you, right? Yeah. If you have that.
We live in this like digital world where we're like getting pushed towards this concept of like, hey, I just throw stuff up on a website and it's on the website and people go there and they order and I have no interaction with them. And, that's supposed to be the norm, right? And I feel like COVID has just only increased that. But guess what? We practice what we preach here, right? Like, why do we go live all the time? Because we realize the closer that we get to our customer, the better that we fundamentally understand their needs, the better that we're able to deliver a product that they actually want, not what we think they want, but what they actually want. And let me tell you how many artists and photographers fail on that, right? Like, you come in with the premise, I don't want this to be a hobby. I want this to be a business, a side business, a full-time business, a career, right? Then your next step is, I'm going to go ahead and create only what inspires and makes me happy. Okay. I'm not going to get any feedback on it. And then I'm going to take that to market. Right. And if it doesn't sell, what ends up happening? Art doesn't sell. Nobody's buying art right now. It's a terrible market. Right. All of the excuses. And maybe you internalize it. Maybe you're like, I'm a crafty artist. But what you don't understand is you did not get any feedback from your potential customers about what they wanted to see.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's on offer, but only if you ask for it.
Yep.
And yes, Rachel, I am sick.
Yeah, and you know what's funny I thought about this morning is how, like, there's a lot of people who comment on like our ads and things like that, and they're really rude to the artist that's on there, and like, because an artist might be holding a piece of work or something like that. I mean, there's some of the nastiest comments I've ever seen, and it's like I just laugh whenever I see any of them, because I'm like, this person is selling like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They're killing you. And you're sitting here on Facebook commenting about their art, right? My 5-year-old could do this, or whatever it was, whether it's like a photograph or a painting. And do you know what's so funny about it, Pat? This is just classic, is that like I just like, all I want to say is like, do you understand in NFT land that pixelated JPEGs are selling for millions of dollars right now?
Yeah, don't get me
started. The pixelated JPEGs, there's no talent, like there's nothing involved in them, and they're selling for millions of dollars. And I don't mean to go down the NFT road, but if you don't understand that this is all about marketing, you have no idea how this business works. None.
Yep.
Full stop.
Yep.
It is all about understanding the customer, what they want. Now in the NFT world, that's all about like the crypto collector. You know what I mean? Because that's all who's playing in that market. So, but if you play to that, that's what's going on there and it's working, right? But it's no different than understanding the customer. Like you got to understand your customer and then market towards that, right? Build a strategy, your product strategy, which is marketing. That falls under the marketing umbrella. Your product strategy and your marketing strategy around that.
Yep. Critically important. Quickly to answer this question, Jeffrey, we have private galleries that you can use. You got to just contact support and they'll show you how to set them up. That's super easy to do.
Yep.
Yep. So that answers that enough. We have very few days left. The race is about to be run, right?
Yes.
It's about to be on. And look,
you should have the Q4 banner on there. We should mention that we have a pre-Q4 sale, you guys, that's ending at the end of the month. And that is actually 1 week from today. 1 week from today. So you'll probably see we've sent out notices that there's only so many spots left where we can run demos for people who are interested in joining Art Storefronts and getting up and get going for this fourth quarter holiday season rush. You still have time. You still got time to do it. So if you're interested, what you're going to want to do is request a demo. There's a link in the bio on Instagram and Facebook. There'll be a link in this post. You can always just go to our website too and click the request a demo button in the upper right-hand corner. And one of the people from our outreach team will reach out to you, show you all the bells and whistles, features, everything, how the pricing works and all of that, answer your questions. And most importantly, just make sure that this is a good fit for you, because we will not sign anyone up that is not a good fit. And so, yeah, all you got to do is just request a demo and see, if it's the right thing for you.
Yep. So this is an interesting question, Chris, and I get this one a lot, but let me read it out so that Instagram can hear it, because we can't assume, right? And so he's like saying, Patrick, is Q4 sales a reality or possible for someone who doesn't have a social media following besides mom and dad? And I love that, by the way. Don't you love that mom's always on your mom is always watching the live art show too, right? And then he's also asking, is getting publicity, writing press releases a part of Art Storefronts marketing introduction, right? Thanks. And the beautiful thing about that, Chris, is like how I answer this question is, I feel like I'm hitting my stride, right? Like I'm 42 years old and I've been doing this for a long time now. And I've got to see year after year after year after year after year what ends up happening, right? And at a macro, Q4 is the one time of year, if I could pick as an artist, as a photographer, to be running sales and engaged in marketing, that is the time of year. That's number one. Number two, year in, year out, this never changes. Okay. Number three, you are going to be an artist for the rest of your life. Artists and photographers don't go through midlife crises. Okay. You are going to attempt to monetize your creative talent, not for the next 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, decades, Christopher. Okay. And if this is the number one time of year to be selling, okay, and this is the number one time of year in, year out, to understand how to market during Q4, how do you think you're ever going to get mastery of such a thing until you get started? I'm telling you that this is fundamentally the most important thing that you need to understand, how to engage in marketing and sales in the fourth quarter if you want to be successful as an artist, if you want to monetize your creative talents, and you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life. And you're saying like, I only have mom and dad following me. I don't care if only dad's following you or only mom's following you or no one's following you. By the way, send me a message. I'll follow you. You have one follower. One follower is enough to start your marketing. When are you ever going to get started doing it? When are you ever going to learn how to exercise a sale? When are you ever going to learn how to run a live art show? You're never going to learn how to do any of it if you're sitting there contemplating the what ifs. The what ifs are for hobbyists, right?
Yep.
That's for hobbyists.
And also everybody had to start there, right? So it's like everybody had to start there. You make the same investment, now into starting the art business that you will 6 months from now or a year from now. So you might as well just do it. There's no cost difference now or later. All you're getting is the time advantage, right? And what's that saying? I always get these sayings wrong, but like the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago.
No. What's the best time to plant an oak tree? 30 years ago. When's the next best time?
Right now.
Today. Yeah.
Today. Exactly. The other thing too, just to add on top of what you said, Pat, is that because there is such rampant attention on the social media platforms, and in email boxes and everything like that as a result of the holidays and people reading more emails and on social media more because they're shopping and they know deals are coming. There's more attention there. It's the number one time to build your audience and build your list.
Yeah.
Okay. It's it's the best time to start, for that specific purpose, even if that is all you really do. And, maybe you make a sale or two. Right. But yeah, it's like, if I were in your shoes, it's like I would, and you knew that you wanted to be in this business, you were going to give this business a shot at some point. Like, this is the perfect time. It's like, it's just that I would be like, my goodness, like, I'll just go after this and market hard and, do the best I can. But I'll use the elevated temperature of Q4 to my advantage.
Yep. And, just to finish off Chris's question, so he asked me about press releases being a part of the art marketing instruction that we do. No, they're not. I don't find the ROI from press releases to be particularly high, especially in contrast to
We
other
don't even write press
marketing.
releases for art storefronts, and we're a much larger business. It's completely pointless.
So unless you have like a really good friend in PR or something, Chris, then I wouldn't worry about it in the slightest. We also have a question from Instagram, Nick. I'm going to read this one.
But I think it's important though, real quick though. That's a perfect example of whether it's SEO or press releases or marketing on Pinterest, right?
Or TikTok or any of
Part of our job, is moving the stuff out of the way that you should not be doing and only focusing on the things that you should be doing, which are not our opinion. It's what is working for the 4,000 members, 5,000 members that we have at Art Storefronts, where the success is actually coming from, right? And that's what we're teaching everybody to do. And everything else is a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many things don't work and waste your time. And as Pat said, not enough people are following enough of the marketing and doing enough marketing, right? So like, it's hard enough to just do the things that are actually like working. Like, hey, do you know anyone with press that, could you show me 20 artists or photographers that have had a lot of success with press releases, right? That are especially at an early stage when they're just starting out? The answer is no. But if you can answer that question yes, then maybe that's something that you should do. All we're concerned with are the ones where the answer to that is yes, and making sure all of our members do those things and as many of them as we possibly can.
Yeah. And so the comment on Instagram is essentially, Bridget's a nurse and she's also an artist, and she wants to be a nurse less and an artist more. First of all, God bless you for your service for being a nurse.
Yes, exactly.
Not been easy. We love you guys. We respect you guys. And she made an interesting comment in the sense that, like, but she doesn't know anything about the art business or marketing business, right? And no artists do, turns out. No photographers do. The sheer amount of education in the history of art, the history of photography, the sheer amount of education in how to be confident with a brush, or how to be confident with a camera, or how to be confident at lighting, or composure, or the rule of thirds, or texture, or any of these various different things. Staggering amount of education out there for that. Little problem, though, there doesn't seem to be any classes in how you actually take this God-given creative talent and turn it into a business. And really, at the end of the day, it's why we exist. If there's a reason why Art Storefronts exists, like, succinctly, it is to fill the gap that is the hole that teaches you how to actually take a creative talent and turn it into a business. That's it. That's it. And there's nothing out there. There just seems to be nothing out there. Yeah. Oh, sure, there's a class here or there. But guess what? You need a little bit more than a class here or there, right? You need a little bit more than a guru here or there. Take my 8-week class, take my 8-week program. Like, that's going to do a damn thing. You need education for decades. You need education because it's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. This is the reason that we often cite this stat. 99% of all Shopify stores fail. 99% of all Shopify stores fail. You can Google that exact phrase and see the results that come down. And the reason is because a website is not enough.
Nope.
Right? You don't just launch a website, get yourself a couple of business cards and a logo and start handing stuff out, right? Running a business and building a business takes time. It doesn't go up and to the right, like,
oh no, like, no hockey stick growth.
No hockey stick growth. It is usually comes in like, you just stair step your way up one step at a time. And Bridget, the way that you do it is you get started and you start on day one, and then you get to day two, and you keep getting incrementally a little bit better every day, right? And then before you know it, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you will have a real business. You know what I mean? if you're making that progress and you're committed to it and you have the right attitude.
Yeah.
Because there's no shortcut like that. Everybody wants the shortcut. Not Bridget. That's not what she's asking. But Pat, everybody wants the shortcut. They want to be told like this is, like imagine what would happen if we told everybody on here like, hey, you'll be selling, you're going to be doing great in 6 months. 3 months, that's all you need, right? Like people would there'd be so many people that would be like, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up? And what do? We do the exact opposite. We do the exact opposite, right? Which is no, guys. Look, we're going to have a long-term relationship with you guys. And look, there's Art Storefronts members in the comments right now, like Rachel, who's been around for a while. We're close with Rachel. And like, there's a
heck of a hula hooper, by the way.
Heck of a hula hooper.
One of the best in the business.
Yeah. And like, we are close with our members. Every Art Storefronts team member, we call it the Art Storefronts family, right? The Art Storefronts team members and our members, we're all one big family because working and building your business is hard. And it is, our vision here is to make a community of people who are serious about it, who can have all the resources, the best software, the best art selling software that exists, for the front end and the back end to help you run the business. And then all the marketing and business consulting and the right peer group to help you have the information and everything that you need to actually do what I'm talking about, like start somewhere and get better and better and better every year, because the reality is that it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how experienced you are. It takes years to build a business. And I've said this to our members before, Pat. I'm a 23-year entrepreneur. I've started 5 businesses, right? And I thought the last one, I thought Art Storefronts, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. It's my 5th one. I've had some successful businesses prior to this. I'm so experienced, and was it any easier than the other ones? No. In fact, it was harder. It's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Building a business takes time, but in the end, it's really worth it, especially for you guys, because you guys are inventors. You guys are essentially inventors of your own product. And for us, non-painters and photographers here, it is something we marvel at, because you could only hope that you could invent some great products and build your own business, right, Pat? Is it not true? But you guys can invent stuff on the fly. On the fly, you could go down in your city and pick some of the most high traffic, high appeal locations and either paint them or photograph them, and you'll probably sell them better than anything you have right now, because you could go invent that product in your own style and your own take. Okay. And that's being done every single day.
Yeah. We go into the whole rant about they're able to create things out of whole cloth without visiting anyone else, right? Without anyone's help in the hands in the creative process. They can just do it and then they can sell it worldwide. It's like a phenomenal opportunity. That doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean anything's easy, right? If we know anything, if we spend as much time as we do being close to our customers, if we spend as much time being close to those that want to potentially become our customers, we know that you got a marketing problem. You're not going to solve it overnight. And guess what? We're in it together. Art Storefronts has got a marketing problem too, right?
Yeah,
we have a marketing problem in business. And Pat, in business today, the biggest problem you have is a marketing problem. And guess what? Step 1 is realizing you have a problem.
Yeah.
Step 2 is working on it. That's
right. The marketing problem, guys, never goes away. The people who are selling $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, guess what they have, Pat?
Marketing problem.
They have a marketing problem. They're trying to get to 400,000, 500,000, right? We have like a couple that are trying to get to 1 million, and they have a marketing problem, because I'll tell you what, the challenges that you have when you're at that level in your marketing to get from 100,000 to call it 500,000 or 500,000 to 1 million, they're completely different. They are completely different. The challenges equally hard, but they change. It's not, you aren't doing the same things at that stage that you're doing at the lower stage. You need to be doing some different things, and you need to be doing more of it. You're still doing the other stuff, but you're doing more of it, and you have a bigger team at that point that can help you, right? Yeah. But the challenges never go away, and the goalposts are always moving, right? Like that's the thing in marketing world.
It's like kids, right? Like you're changing diapers, and changing diapers is rough. And then the next thing you know, you're not changing the diapers per se anymore, but you're helping out with some things in the bathroom. You're wiping some backsides and such. Then Then you're only dealing with the diapers at night. Then, they're out of diapers and they're potty trained, but every once in a while you have an accident, right? It's like the problems just keep changing. But the problem is fundamentally marketing, right? Like with kids, the problem changes all the time too, but it's a similar situation and it's not ever going to go away. And working on it is the only thing that's going to fundamentally impact your
Yeah.
business. It's the only thing that's ever going to make a difference. It's the only thing that's going to get you going and moving in the right direction.
And that's getting to the point here of like where it's like we're trying to give you the truth of the real picture of what it is to build a successful art or photography business. And I think that we believe that that there's a lot of power in knowing the truth when you're on the for the journey that you're setting out to get on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you understand the proper journey of building an art or photography business and what it takes, and you have the right expectations, right, in advance mentally, you will have a much better chance at making it and being successful with it. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't have that, then what happens is you will get so frustrated. You will be so down in the dumps. You'll be like losing. You won't know why you're losing. You won't know why you're not getting traction, and you'll give up early and all this stuff. And really, when if somebody like, who understood this business took a look at your business and what you did, like if I, like, for example, if I looked at you're like, I gave up, I tried that a year ago, and I'd be like, okay, tell me exactly everything that you did, and I'd look at the whole thing and I'd be like, you basically never gave yourself a chance.
No, you didn't do anything.
You didn't do, you literally didn't do anything, even though you think you did. Oh, I spent hours on my website and I was tinkering with it, changing my website all the time. And I tried this on my website and then I changed my homepage to this. It's like, yeah, you didn't do anything because there's nobody even going to your website. So you're solving the wrong problem. You need to focus on the top of the funnel, which is building your audience and your lead list so that you actually have people that will convert.
Yeah. And like also the perspective too, right? Like, what I feel like everyone does is they create work, they don't show it to anyone, it doesn't sell. They internalize it as criticism that they're not a good artist, that they don't have things figured out, right? And they quit, right? Or they just keep creating, not showing it to anyone, 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 not getting any feedback. And then saying, I can't figure out what my niche is. Well, of course you can't figure out what your niche is. You haven't attempted to sell it. You haven't attempted to market it, right? No one's giving you the perspective of how long it takes. First year is absolutely a disaster, right? In many cases, like you have to learn a bunch of new things. You have to learn how to sell. You have to learn all the aspects of marketing and the tech and everything else. You have to learn how to take the feedback and not internalize it as criticism. Pablo Picasso, when he died, 45,000 pieces of unsold work in his inventory. That guy could have signed a piece of Kleenex and sold it for $10 million at the end of his life. How did he have 45,000 pieces of unsold work in his inventory? How is that even possible, right? I'll tell you how. He was trying stuff, taking it to market, didn't sell great. He didn't take it upon himself. He moved on to the next thing, right? But he didn't quit and he kept working. And it's like all we attempt to do, especially in this Instagram driven age, is just focus on the private jet and the gold watch and the luxury car and the champagne and everything else. And so many people are so damn successful. And then when you actually get there and you start peeling the layers back, you find out that there was a long road of hardcore grinding and working.
Exactly.
And guess what? If you don't get started and you don't start working at it, it's never going to come. Your first year is not going to be easy. It never is. But the whole point is that you don't ever get started, right?
Yeah.
You just don't ever get started. It's
the
the biggest problem.
And you know what the most beautiful part about it is, Pat, is that you're not alone. Like in our community and with us, we're all doing it. We're all doing it together. Like you're not alone. Like everybody's in the same shoes, like just at a different point in time. Somebody's just like, hey, I was in your shoes 5 years ago. I'm not anymore, but I was there, and that's just an amazing thing. Oh, and Trish is saying you guys are, I purchased the gold package and I still have yet to launch, but I'm doing it by October 1st. Yes, Trish, you gotta do it by October 1st. Good. And also, this is for members only, okay? Once you do that, or even in the meanwhile, maybe this weekend or at night, we just had our Q4 prep session. It was amazing, okay? And it happened, it was like a week ago, wasn't it, Pat? A week or 2 weeks ago, I think.
Last week.
Yeah, it was last week. So it was a big, member session where we went over the entire marketing plan from a high level for October, November, and December. All the big things going on, all the print fulfillment discounts that you get as a member, all these features that are getting released by the end of the month for Q4. Right, there's several different like fulfillment products that we've added and things like that that are Christmas oriented. And so I highly recommend going back and watching that. It'll like basically give you like the cliff notes of how you should be thinking about your marketing for Q4 like immediately, and then you can dive right into the Q4 marketing. Oh, you watched it. Beautiful. Well, anybody else that's a member that is seeing this, or anybody that's about to sign up, just write that down, the Q4 prep workshop, and when you sign up, ask, ask anybody that works for us for a link to it or whatever. You should be able to find it on your own, but in any case, we will hand deliver it to you.
Game on.
Game on. Yeah, I'm getting so excited for the Q4. October, 1 week away. Like, man, it is just on. People don't realize like this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. And if you're following us on social media and you're on our email list, we're going to be sending out stories in October, success stories of things going on. And you're going to be like, what? People are selling already? And it's not even Black Friday yet. It's not even November. Exactly. Do you have the right marketing strategy? You better make sure you do.
Yep. All right. It sounds so simple because it is. Yep. I got a kid busting in here.
Yeah. So quick reminder, the Q4 sale, guys, we have a pre-Q4 sale that is ending in 1 week. It ends on next Thursday. To join Art Storefronts and get the current discount, for doing it, to get up before Q4. We're giving you a great opportunity to do that. If you're interested in learning more about that, request a demo. Okay. You can comment on, Instagram or Facebook. If you drop a comment here, we could have somebody reach out to you. But and that's if you've already requested a demo and we have your phone number and contact information. Otherwise, request a demo. There's a link in the bio, link in the description of this post. There's always a button in the upper right-hand corner of the website, request a demo. Do that and do it soon, because there's only so many spots left where we can run a demo for these discounted spots and give you a chance of getting in. But one of our team members will show you everything. You can talk to them about, all the features and pricing details about what we do and see if it's a good fit. Okay. There's no obligation or commitment. If you just want to learn more, go ahead and request a demo.
We're going to be doing a ton of these lives as the month winds down. It's sort of like a commitment we've made to be like transparent, open, and available to answer whatever questions we have. I like that on these sessions that it's almost like it's 50-50. Like 50% of the people that we're interacting with are customers and 50% are potential customers, right? I feel very strongly about practicing what we preach as an organization. And what do I say every single solitary one of these? I want you doing more live art shows. I want you doing more live art shows. I want you doing more live art shows. Well, that could sound pretty damn hypocritical if I was saying that from inside my house, not running live broadcast.
Yeah, as you're sending an email, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, please go live more often in an email, right?
Yeah. But we're running them. I'm making myself available. Nick, our CEO, is making himself available. We view this type of communication as the Art Storefronts Apple store in the mall. And we're just opening the doors. Yep. And we want our customers to come in, and we want strangers off the street to come in. We want nurses that like Bridget that are on their break and that are sitting there watching. Like, the Apple store is open. You can come in and ask us anything, right? Like our job is to put you on the path of making success out of your creativity. That's what we're here
right. For. You're in the Art Storefront store right now. This is our business, right? It just happens to be online, but it's our store, and you should have a store too and be live and online, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Eddie, we're not ahead of the curve. We all are ahead of the curve, right? Like, even just talking about this and doing this puts us in the top 1% of artists and photographers marketing. And guess what? It's not going to change, because we're going to be in this for the next 1, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. 20 years. Boy, does everything change when you have the proper perspective. So, all right, Nick, thank you. I'll maybe see you again this afternoon, because we're going to be shipping a bunch of these. So if you see us, says AMA, just come on, ask some questions, come with it. We want to answer everything. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.